In the next 24 hours, your past will loosen its grip, your excuses will lose their flavor, and the door you've avoided will swing open. Hear this once, and the clock starts. Old patterns dissolve. New power ignites. There's no pause, no return, only forward. You pressed play, and something ancient in you stirred. A hush falls inside, as if the room itself is holding its breath, because the sentence you're hearing is not entertainment. It is a summons. From this moment, a 24-hour sandglass in your soul flips, and the past begins to empty itself. Old coordinates blur, old names loosen, old bargains expire. This is not a threat. It's a remembering. You have outgrown the story that taught you to trade approval for aliveness, certainty for possibility, sleepwalking for sovereignty. You have felt it for months. The gentle ache, the phantom tug toward a life you cannot unknow. Hearing these words ends the negotiation. The exit door is lit. The threshold is warm beneath your feet. Over the next day, you will unhook from identities that were never yours, uninstall shrinking scripts, and adopt a new internal law. What is true is chosen. What is chosen is honored. What is honored remakes reality. Your nervous system will tremble a little. Let it. Creation hums through trembling hands. This audiobook is a ritual disguised as a message. It will give you phrases to speak, scenes to picture, choices to enact, rooms to clear, and relationships to realign, so that by sunrise and sunset and sunrise again, your environment reflects your new oath. We will work in cycles: breath, word, movement, stillness, deletion, devotion. We will marry physics with faith. What you repeat, you become. What you release returns as power. There will be no fanfare when your old life ends. Only a clean quiet and the click of an inner lock you've been waiting to hear since childhood. After that, your steps will sound different on the floorboards, and you will recognize the sound as your true name. Welcome home. The countdown has started, and you're ready. Chapter 1. The Sandglass Turns. It begins without warning. A sentence heard in a quiet room, a phrase brushed against your awareness, and suddenly you feel it. The shift. Something invisible clicks into place, and time itself bends toward your decision. You may not notice the sandglass turning at first. Its movement is silent, subtle, like a whisper brushing across your ribs. Yet within, a countdown begins. 24 hours. That is all the old version of you has left to breathe. This is not fear talking. It is recognition. You've felt the stale air of your old life for too long, the repetitive thoughts that circle like vultures, the stale routines that promise safety but delivered only sleepwalking. The past was a room you never rearranged, its furniture heavy with dust, its windows sealed. And in that moment of hearing, when these words entered you, something cracked. The door opened. The sandglass does not wait for your permission. It turns because you are ready. Beneath hesitation, you've been aching for this. The quiet longing for more, the unspoken refusal of mediocrity, the hunger for aliveness. These have been prayers. And prayers, when answered, rarely come as comfort. They come as disruption. They arrive as finality, a note slipped under your door saying, "You leave today," or "You never leave at all." Your body feels it first, a subtle trembling in the chest, a current of warmth in the belly. Breath catches. This is the nervous system sensing death and birth all at once. One chapter closing with no chance to reopen, another forming like dawn on the horizon. You cannot unhear this. You cannot unknow the fact that the countdown has started, and somewhere deep in your marrow, you don't want to. What happens next is not accidental. Old memories begin surfacing, not to torment you, but to remind you of what no longer fits. People who drain you cross your mind. Rooms that feel heavy appear in your vision. Habits that used to numb you suddenly reveal their emptiness. This is not coincidence. It is the sand glass reminding you what expires today. And with each grain of sand that falls, new strength stirs. It is not loud yet, but it is steady. You will notice it in the way your voice feels firmer when you speak, in the way you hesitate less before choosing, in the way your eyes catch new light in the mirror. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming the self who was always beneath the rubble. The turning of the sand glass is sacred. It means you are finally being entrusted with the truth. Your life was never meant to be lived on repeat. These next hours are holy. Every breath, every glance, every step is part of a rite of passage. Let the clock tick. Let it take. For what it takes is only what was never yours to keep. Chapter 2. Severance Papers for the Past. Every contract eventually ends. Some end with signatures, some with silence. Today, the contracts you signed unconsciously, with fear, with doubt, with inherited shame, are expiring. Their ink has run dry, and it is time to file the severance papers. You did not realize you agreed to these contracts. As a child, you signed them with your silence. You signed them each time you dimmed your brightness to be loved, each time you swallowed truth to avoid rejection. You signed them every morning you dressed in identities that didn't belong to you. But now the countdown demands honesty. Those agreements no longer hold jurisdiction over you. A severance is not cruel, it is merciful. When you whisper to your old self, "Thank you, but we're done," you are not spitting on your past. You are acknowledging its service and setting it down. That version of you survived storms, carried burdens, and kept breathing. But the deal was only for survival, not creation. That contract has reached its end. Speak the severance aloud. Whisper it if you must. I release you. I forgive you. I no longer owe allegiance to what kept me small. These words are your exit signature. They may tremble as they leave your lips, but they will strike like thunder in your subconscious. Your old self will hear and understand. It will not fight. It will dissolve because it knows its time has ended. Do not be surprised if emotions surge. Tears may fall, laughter may bubble up, anger may ripple. Let them. These are just the echoes of dissolving contracts. They cannot harm you. They are paper burning to ash. In the ashes, you find the first clear page of your new chapter, a page unstained by shame, unburdened by false debts. On this page, you begin to write your real law. The past cannot chase you here. The severance is final. Chapter 3. Oxygen for the new self. Transformation is not a thought exercise. It is a full-body event. And as your old life exhales its final breath, your new life inhales its first. This is why breath becomes your ally now. Oxygen, pure and steady, feeds the flame of the self you are birthing. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply through your nose until your ribs expand like doors swinging wide. Hold for a moment, feeling the fullness, the readiness, the spark. Then exhale slowly as though you are releasing centuries of stale air. Do this again. Again, each breath is an announcement. I am alive. I am here. I am new. Your body has been bracing for years, bracing against disappointment, against failure, against the unknown. Muscles tight, jaw clenched, shoulders hunched in defense. But this bracing only suffocated possibility. With every inhale, you loosen the grip. With every exhale, you return oxygen to your cells, telling them the war is over. This is not symbolic. It is biochemical. Breath regulates your nervous system, shifting you from survival into creation. When oxygen floods the bloodstream, the brain stops looping old alarms and begins noticing opportunities. Ideas emerge, visions sharpen, energy rises. Breath is the bridge between the expiration of your old life and the ignition of your new. Make it ritual. In the morning, 3 deep breaths before your feet touch the floor. At midday, when doubt prowls, 5 slow inhales and exhales to reset. At night, a final breath that whispers, I choose life. These moments are not trivial, they are sacred architecture. They carve space inside you where the new self can breathe freely. Your old life suffocated you with shallow air, borrowed scripts, half-lived days. Your new life demands depth. It demands lungs filled with courage, heartbeats unshackled from fear. Let oxygen be your first nourishment. Let it remind you with every inhale, you are here, you are new, and there is no going back. Chapter 4. The No Negotiation Oath. Every transformation requires a vow, not a preference. Preferences bend in the wind, but vows carve themselves into the marrow. You have reached the point in the 24-hour countdown where hesitation cannot be afforded. To cross the threshold, you must plant an oath in the ground of your soul, a vow that removes the possibility of bargaining with your old self. This is the no negotiation oath. The old life thrives on loopholes. It whispers, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe when you're ready. It bargains again, and if you allow it, it will bargain forever. That is its only weapon, delay. So your oath must silence delay. It must become a final word spoken not only with lips, but with lungs, bones, and heartbeat. 4 sentences form the architecture of this vow. They may look simple, but when spoken with breath and conviction, they alter the frequencies of your being. They are as follows. I choose truth. I choose freedom. I choose courage. I choose now. You cannot merely think these lines. You must proclaim them. Whisper them in the morning to the rising sun. Speak them at noon when doubt paces outside your door. Declare them at night when shadows try to lull you back to sleepwalking. Each time you speak them, imagine the words engraving themselves into your chest, like glowing sigils. This is not self-help affirmation, it is binding law. Once uttered, your subconscious accepts it as new programming, and the subconscious, vast and loyal, enforces it without hesitation. That is why your body will respond. You will feel energy rush to your skin, goosebumps rising like electricity. You will feel your spine lengthen, as if your very posture is swearing allegiance to your vow. Do not be surprised if resistance rises. Resistance is the past attempting one last negotiation. It may come as doubt, as distraction, as sudden fatigue. But remember, you are not negotiating anymore. You do not explain truth to lies. You do not explain freedom to chains. You do not explain courage to fear. You simply declare the oath and move forward. A vow is not for others to witness, it is for you to embody. But if you want the full force of it, speak it in front of a mirror. Look into your eyes and say the 4 sentences as though you are both witness and signer. The mirror will not lie. It will reflect the weight of your words, and your body will register the shift. After the oath, small changes become inevitable. You will hesitate less before choosing. You will catch yourself when trying to explain away your power. You will notice how people respond differently, some leaning closer, some pulling away. This is the signature of a vow lived authentically. It does not just change you, it rearranges the field around you. Do not expect comfort, expect clarity. Your no negotiation oath will cut through confusion like a blade. Decisions will simplify into yes or no, aligned or not. And while this can feel severe, it is also liberation. The weight of indecision falls away. You are no longer split between timelines. You are aligned. Repeat the vow until it becomes as natural as breath. Carve it into your mornings. Etch it into your evenings. When the old self tries to rise, your oath will be the wall it cannot scale. When temptation to delay appears, your oath will be the bridge forward. When fear whispers in the night, your oath will be the torch that keeps you walking. This is your declaration of independence from the past. and once declared, there is no negotiating it back into existence. Your old life is not a rival, it is a ghost. Ghosts cannot survive in the presence of a vow. Your oath is the law now, and the law is simple. Truth, freedom, courage now. Chapter 5. The Inventory of Unalive Things. When a body dies, the first step is recognition. You do not carry it around pretending it still breathes. You honor it, release it, and return it to the earth. The same is true of your old life. Before you can move into the vividness of your new self, you must conduct an inventory of what is unalive. Unalive things are not always obvious. They masquerade as comfort, familiarity, or tradition. They might be the shirt you never wear but cannot release, the friendship that expired years ago but lingers in forced texts, the ritual of scrolling endlessly through glowing screens at midnight. They appear harmless, but they are anchors, and every anchor chained to yesterday slows your movement into tomorrow. This inventory is sacred. You are not purging in anger, you are naming in truth. Walk through your home slowly, touch objects with your hands, and ask, does this carry life or death? If it carries life, if it sparks clarity, energy, possibility, keep it. If it carries death, if it feels heavy, stagnant, drained, release it. Move through your digital life the same way. Open your phone, look at the apps, the contacts, the messages. Which ones make your chest feel open and which make it tighten? Which ones represent growth and which ones represent decay? Delete without hesitation. Each deletion is not loss, it is oxygen. Relationships, too, must be part of this inventory. This does not mean cutting everyone out. It means recognizing who nourishes and who depletes. It means telling the truth about which conversations make you smaller and which make you larger. Some connections can be recalibrated with honesty. Others must be released with love. Either way, the inventory requires honesty over sentiment. Do not mistake unalive for evil. These things served you once. That friendship gave you belonging. That object carried a memory. That habit offered survival. But what served yesterday cannot always serve today. Just as fruit ripens and then rots, aspects of your life move through cycles. To cling to them beyond their time is to feed on decay. The act of letting go will feel like exhale. The room will lighten. The body will feel taller. The mind will quiet. This is not imagination. It is physics. Energy cannot flow where space is blocked. By clearing unalive things, you create corridors for the new self to move freely. Write down what you release, not as punishment, but as ceremony. A list of thank yous to the old life. Each item a chapter closed with gratitude. Burn the list if you wish, or bury it under earth. Let the world witness your shedding. You may fear emptiness. Do not. Emptiness is fertile. It is the soil waiting for new roots. When you clear a shelf, the new book arrives. When you release an old garment, the new attire appears. When you step away from stagnant conversations, new voices call your name. This is the law of space. When you empty, you invite. By the end of this inventory, you will stand in a life lighter, freer, clearer. You will feel the presence of possibility pressing in, ready to be planted. This is the sacred aftermath of release. The unalive has been honored, and the living now has room to grow. Chapter 6. Delete to create. Creation does not begin with addition. It begins with subtraction. To build the cathedral of your new life, you must first clear the rubble. Deletion is not an afterthought. It is the foundation. Without it, you are stacking beauty on decay. With it, you are laying stone on clean earth. The old life whispers that deletion is dangerous. It says, what if you regret it? What if you need it later? But regret is the language of stagnation. Need is the excuse of fear. In truth, Every deletion is an act of courage, and every courageous deletion creates immediate space for creation. Begin with the smallest deletions. Remove a song that depresses you from your playlist. Throw away an object that carries pain. Delete one number from your phone that no longer belongs. Each small act signals to your subconscious, we are moving, we are clearing, we are serious. The subconscious responds with energy, clarity, strength. Then move to the larger deletions, habits that drain, commitments that suffocate, environments that poison. These deletions are not easy, but they are liberating. When you delete an obligation you never chose but always carried, you feel the weight leave your shoulders instantly. The body knows, it exhales, it celebrates. Deletion is not absence, it is invitation. The moment you delete what does not align, the aligned begins knocking. Opportunities you once never had time for suddenly appear. Relationships that seemed distant suddenly move closer. Ideas that once seemed blocked begin to flow. The universe abhors a vacuum, but it blesses a sacred one. When you delete intentionally, creation rushes to fill the space. Do not delete recklessly. Delete consciously, with ceremony. Before you press remove, speak aloud. This no longer serves me. I release it with gratitude. I create space for what belongs. This transforms deletion from destruction into devotion. And remember, deleting is not about what you lose. It is about who you become in the space created. The self who deletes is the self who declares, I deserve clarity. I deserve alignment. I deserve life that breathes. By the end of this chapter, your environment, your routines, your digital spaces, and even your inner world will feel lighter. And in that lightness, creation becomes not a struggle, but a natural flow. You will not need to force the new life. It will arise because the soil is finally clear. Deletion is creation's first breath. Every act of letting go is also an act of receiving. Delete with courage and watch as your new life rushes in to fill the open hands you finally extend. Chapter 7. The Words That Rewire. Words are not decoration. Words are architecture. Every syllable you speak chisels the structure of your reality, laying bricks either toward expansion or confinement. Most of the time, you've been speaking unconsciously, repeating the inherited phrases of fear, survival, and compromise. That is why the old life lingered for so long. It was written into your vocabulary. But now, in this countdown, you are commanded to choose new words. Not later, not when you feel ready, now, because the language you speak in these hours will rewire the foundations of your subconscious. There is a moment each day, a hinge between waking and sleeping, where words penetrate deeper than anywhere else. Your mind is soft then, like clay warmed by fire. In those last waking minutes before sleep, and in those fragile first moments upon waking, your words are gospel to your subconscious. They slip past defenses and lodge themselves into the soil of your being, growing roots that dictate tomorrow's fruit. That is why the phrases you choose for these liminal states matter more than anything else you say. Most people surrender these precious thresholds to nonsense. They drift to sleep replaying the day's failures or catastrophes, whispering to themselves a lullaby of fear. They wake with groans, checking glowing screens before checking their own pulse, and then they wonder why life never shifts. But you know now, you know the secret that sages guarded. Words spoken in twilight are spells. They either enslave or they liberate. So here is your command. Create your language of rebirth. Craft phrases that do not beg but declare. Write them in the present tense, not as wish, but as law. Do not say, I will be free. That keeps freedom always a step away. Say instead, I am free now. Do not say, someday I will be powerful. Someday is a graveyard. Say, my power flows in me now. Speak these words each night before your head touches the pillow. Let them be the last notes your brain records before drifting into the sacred theater of dreams. Speak them again each morning before your feet touch the floor, so that your first steps are taken in alignment with truth, not with the leftover lies of yesterday. It may feel awkward at first. Your body may twitch in protest, whispering that these words are unearned. That is only the old circuitry protesting its deactivation. Keep going. Repeat until the words settle into your bones. Repeat until they feel less like a spell you are casting and more like the truth you are simply remembering. Understand this: your nervous system listens to the vibration of your words more than the logic behind them. Speak with conviction and your body will align. Your voice will tremble less each time, your chest will swell, your eyes will brighten. Your subconscious does not distinguish between rehearsed truth and lived truth. It records the vibration of conviction and adjusts your reality to match it. This is why warriors of old spoke oaths before battle, why sages repeated chants before entering silence, why prophets declared words before nations. They knew the secret. Reality bends to sound. And now you know it too. Every time you catch yourself muttering self-doubt, stop. Replace it immediately with chosen words. If your mouth whispers, "I can't," correct it aloud. "I am capable." "I am prepared." If you mutter, "This is too hard," intercept it with, "I am built for this." The correction is not silly. It is surgery. You are removing poison before it spreads. By the end of this practice, your words will no longer echo the vocabulary of fear. They will become a current pulling you forward. Others will hear it when you speak. Your voice will carry resonance that cannot be faked. Your words will become bridges, ladders, weapons, shields. They will rewire you into the self you are becoming. Language is destiny, and your destiny begins each time your lips part. Choose carefully. Speak intentionally. Rewire relentlessly. Chapter 8. The body signs first. The mind is a trickster. It rationalizes, negotiates, and excuses. But the body never lies. Long before your mouth says yes, your shoulders have already slumped into no. Long before your lips declare love, your stomach twists with doubt. The body is the first prophet of truth, and in these hours of transformation, you must learn to listen to it as gospel. Every life you have lived has carved itself into your posture. The old life is written in hunched shoulders, in the shallow breaths, kumas, you trained yourself to take, in the nervous tapping of your foot when silence stretched too long. You may think those are habits. They are not. They are signatures of agreements you made with fear. And if you want to dissolve those agreements, you must begin with the body. Stand now. Notice your posture. Are you collapsed inward, ribs caged, chest hidden? That is the language of submission. Straighten. Let your spine extend as though the crown of your head were tethered to the sky itself. Roll your shoulders back, not in arrogance, but in allowance. You are giving your lungs room to breathe, your heart room to expand. This single act, repeated often, will shift the chemistry of your brain more powerfully than a dozen declarations whispered half-heartedly. The body trains the mind. If you walk with urgency, your mind believes urgency. If you move slowly, deliberately, your mind quiets into calm. If you speak with shoulders open and eyes steady, your mind adopts the script of confidence. That is why the body must be the first to change. It does not wait for belief. It acts, and the mind follows. Practice micro shifts. When you enter a room, enter with eyes lifted, not lowered. When you sit, place both feet firmly on the ground, anchoring yourself in presence. When you speak, let your gestures align with conviction. Your subconscious watches these movements and begins to conclude, this is who we are now. Do not underestimate this. Science confirms what sages always knew. The nervous system is rewired through movement and posture. 2 minutes of power stance changes hormones. 10 breaths into the belly calms storms in the brain. A smile held for 60 seconds alters mood chemistry. You are not just pretending, you are programming. The old life trained your body to shrink, to guard, to endure. The new life trains your body to expand, to open, to command. Each time you catch yourself collapsing, reset. Each time you notice shallow breathing, deepen. Each time you find yourself hiding, step forward. These repetitions are not trivial. They are chisels, sculpting you into the vessel that can carry the weight of your chosen destiny. Your body will resist at first. Muscles will ache, fatigue will rise, habits will claw back. That is not failure. That is proof you are rewiring. Push gently but persistently. Teach your body what it forgot, that it was designed to carry power, not chains. When others see you, they will notice something they cannot name. They will sense presence. They will sense gravity. They will sense the body that leads before the words follow. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Your body is your first declaration. Long before your words, long before your choices, your body announces your direction. Train it to announce truth. Train it to announce freedom. Train it to announce courage. Then watch as the mind, the heart, and the world follow the body's lead. Chapter 9. The 90-second courage window. Every act of transformation lives or dies in 90 seconds. That is the window where courage either surges or collapses, where destiny either ignites or dims. Most people miss it because they wait for courage to feel permanent, forgetting that courage is not a constant state. It is a fleeting flame, a spark that appears briefly, and if seized, changes everything. Here is how it works. When faced with a decision that could shift your life, your body releases a surge. Heart races, palms sweat, energy spikes. This is not fear, it is fuel. But the old self mislabels it as danger and rushes to extinguish it with excuses. Not today. I'm not ready. Maybe later. 90 seconds pass and the window slams shut. The chance dissolves, sometimes forever. You must retrain yourself to recognize this surge as holy. That rush of adrenaline is your subconscious screaming, "Move now." This is the portal. The shaking hands, the fluttering chest. These are not signs of weakness. They are proof you are standing at the edge of a threshold. Practice catching it. When you feel the surge, count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then act. Send the message. Speak the truth. Step onto the stage. Make the call. Your body has already prepared itself to carry the action. The only question is whether your mind will sabotage it. Do not expect the feeling to last. Courage does not linger politely. It roars in, and if you ignore it, it leaves. That is why you must seize it quickly. Act within 90 seconds, and the act itself will expand the flame. Momentum is the reward for immediate bravery. Every major shift in your life will trace back to one of these 90-second windows. The love confessed, the job accepted, the move made, the truth spoken, and each of those decisions carried disproportionate weight because they were seized in the surge. Understand this: the universe conspires with speed. When you act during the courage window, synchronicities align, resources appear, people respond. It is as if reality itself rewards decisive movement. But when you delay, opportunities fade, doors close, energy dissipates. Life favors those who leap. This practice will terrify you at first. You will feel the surge and doubt yourself. But do it anyway. Prove to your nervous system that you can move before overthinking steals your power. Each time you do, your threshold for bravery expands. 90 seconds will begin to feel spacious. You will notice the surge sooner, act faster, and build momentum quicker. Soon, courage will no longer feel like an exception. It will feel like your default. Your life will transform not in years, not in months, but in a string of 90-second windows seized with ferocity. This is how empires are built, not by waiting for perfect timing, but by recognizing the surge, stepping forward, and letting courage do the rest. Seize the window. The sandglass is still running, and every 90 seconds a new doorway opens. Step through before it closes. Chapter 10. Rooms that say yes. A life is not built only from choices. It is built from the rooms those choices echo inside. Your environment is not neutral. It is a co-author of your destiny. Every wall, every object, every detail either affirms your becoming or drags you back into your expired past. Most people ignore this truth. They believe their clutter is harmless, their dim corners irrelevant, their stale decor nothing more than decoration. But you now know better. You know that a room whispers, and you have been sleeping inside whispers that do not belong to you. When you walk into a space, your nervous system scans faster than thought. It registers the colors, the arrangement, the air itself, and sends signals to your subconscious. Safe or unsafe, expansion or contraction, yes or no. That is why some rooms feel heavy while others feel alive. It is not imagination, it is resonance. The question is no longer whether you feel it, but whether you are willing to take command of it. Begin with the room where you sleep. This is not just a bedroom, it is your chamber of transformation, the cave where your old life dissolves and your new life is programmed. Look around. What does your room say to you? Do the objects reflect possibility, or do they replay history? Is your bed a sacred place of renewal or a dumping ground for yesterday's fatigue? Strip the room of what does not breathe. Remove objects that pull you backward. Gifts from relationships that ended. Clothes from identities that suffocated. Reminders of goals you abandoned. Each removal is not loss, but liberation, making the space echo yes to your new becoming. Now add deliberately. Choose colors that carry the energy you wish to embody. Blues to invite calm, golds to spark abundance, greens to nurture growth. Place objects that function as symbols, not clutter. A candle that signals ritual, a book that embodies your pursuit, a plant that testifies to growth. Keep only what whispers encouragement, what affirms your vow. The same is true for your workspace. If your desk is a battlefield of distraction, how can your mind sharpen into clarity? Clear it. Keep only what invites focus. If your kitchen is stacked with remnants of convenience and self-neglect, how can your body learn nourishment? Renew it. Fill it with tools of care and ingredients that strengthen. The rooms of your life are temples, and each one either sanctifies or sabotages your becoming. When you walk into a room, pause, breathe, listen, ask silently, does this space say yes to who I am becoming? If the answer is no, change it immediately. Do not wait. Rearrange the furniture, move the art, clear the floor. Each small shift carries a message to your subconscious. The past is gone, and we no longer live inside it. You will notice the difference almost instantly. When you wake in a room that reflects your vow, your body rises with clarity. When you work in a space that affirms focus, your thoughts sharpen. When you sit in a room that says yes, your spirit expands without resistance. Others will notice too. Guests may step into your home and comment, "It feels different in here." They will not know why, but you will. They are sensing the field of resonance you have curated. They are entering a room aligned with truth, and their bodies respond. Do not underestimate this practice. The rooms you inhabit speak louder than your affirmations. If you declare, "I am free," while living among artifacts of bondage, the body does not believe you. But if you strip the chains from your walls, your body knows. We are free, and we live inside freedom. A room that says yes becomes a mirror, reflecting you back to yourself at your highest. It becomes a sanctuary, a cocoon, a launch pad, And in the final hours of your countdown, such rooms are not luxuries. They are requirements. From now on, you do not merely live in rooms. You command them. You curate them. You demand that every space you enter affirms your vow. And when every room in your life says yes, there is no room left for your past to breathe. Chapter 11. Boundary as Blessing. You once believed boundaries were walls built out of coldness, punishments given to others for crossing lines. That belief belonged to your old life. Boundaries are not weapons, they are blessings. They are the architecture that preserves your energy, your vow, your eye, your breath. Without them, you spill into everyone else's demand until nothing is left for your own destiny. With them, you become a river guided by banks, flowing powerfully toward the sea. The first truth? Boundaries are not set for others. They are set for you. They are declarations to your nervous system about what you will and will not permit in your sacred space of becoming. When you whisper to yourself, "I do not answer messages after 9 p.m., it is not about punishing others. It is about teaching your body that rest is holy. When you say, "I will not explain my dreams to those who mock them," it is not about silencing critics. It is about preserving the fragile seeds of your new life until they are strong enough to bloom. Boundaries require scripts. The old self avoided them because it feared confrontation. But confrontation is not required. Clarity is. Prepare phrases that are firm, warm, and final. When someone demands what you cannot give, practice saying, "That doesn't work for me, but I wish you well." When someone presses against your limits, respond, "I am not available for that." Speak it with calm authority, and the energy will carry more weight than the words. Do not expect applause. Some will resist your new boundaries not because you are wrong, but because they benefited from your lack of them. They will test you. They will call you selfish, distant, changed. Let them. Those words are not curses. They are confirmations. They prove your boundaries are working. At first, your body may tremble. Old programming will rise. If I say no, I will be abandoned. If I refuse, I will lose love. But the opposite is true. Each boundary creates space for genuine connection. Without them, relationships are transactions. With them, relationships become choice. You will begin to see who remains when respect is required. Those who leave were never companions, only consumers. Boundaries do not shrink love, they refine it. When you declare your limits, you invite others to meet you in truth. You give them permission to set their own, and in this mutual clarity, relationships grow deeper, freer, stronger. Boundaries are not separation, they are alignment. Set boundaries with time. Guard your mornings as sacred, your evenings as ritual. Protect your focus like treasure. Do not scatter your hours to those who do not honor them. Set boundaries with an energy. Notice who leaves you drained and who leaves you full. Choose accordingly. Do not confuse obligation with devotion. Set boundaries with words. Refuse to repeat scripts of smallness just to fit. Speak only what resonates with your vow. Each boundary you set is a blessing upon your new self. It says, "I value my life. I honor my energy. I respect my destiny." It blesses you and it blesses others, even if they do not recognize it yet. Your old life collapsed because it was boundaryless. Your new life will thrive because it is held by sacred borders. Remember, a garden without a fence is eaten by wild dogs. But a garden with a fence flourishes, feeding many. Build your fences not as punishments, but as blessings. Let them stand strong, and let your life grow wildly within. Chapter 12. The Currency of Attention. What you pay attention to, you purchase. Each glance, each thought, each scroll is currency. And most of your old life was spent bankrupting yourself on distractions, paying for realities you did not want. The world begged for your gaze. Ads, feeds, noise, and you paid the price with your future. Now the countdown demands you become ruthless with attention. It is the most valuable currency you hold. Understand this: attention is energy. Where it goes, energy flows. If you spend it on fear, fear expands. If you spend it on doubt, doubt multiplies. If you spend it on gossip, gossip becomes the soundtrack of your life. But if you spend it on creation, creation blooms. If you invest it in gratitude, abundance compounds. If you direct it toward vision, vision becomes reality. Track your attention like you would track money. At the end of each day, ask, where did I invest my gaze? Did I squander it on endless scrolling? Did I pour it into arguments with strangers? Did I hand it over to distractions that left me emptier? Or did I invest it in my vow, my craft, my becoming? Begin to reclaim your attention through simple acts. In the morning, before touching a screen, give your first gaze to the sky, to the mirror, to the breath in your chest. This tells your subconscious, my attention is sovereign, not for sale. Throughout the day, notice when your eyes wander to noise. Interrupt. Pull your gaze back. Focus it on what breathes life into you. Make attention sacred. When you speak with someone, give them your full presence. Eyes steady, phone away. When you eat, eat with awareness, tasting, receiving nourishment. When you work, work with undiluted focus. This is not only productivity, it is worship. It is training your subconscious that your attention is holy and will not be wasted. Your environment will test you. Screens will flash, voices will call, notifications will plead. Remember, each one is a toll booth asking for your currency. You cannot pay every toll and still reach your destination. Learn to say no. Learn to guard your gaze. Learn to walk past what does not deserve you. Attention compounds. 1 minute of focus becomes 10, 10 becomes hours, hours become mastery. That is how empires are built, not by scattering attention like coins in the street, but by investing it daily in the same direction until reality bends. You will feel resistance at first. The old self craves distraction like sugar. It will itch for noise, for scrolling, for escape. Do not indulge it. Sit in silence. Breathe. Let your body tremble. Let boredom stretch. Behind boredom lies brilliance. Behind silence lies creation. When you master attention, you master creation. Because everything you want is already waiting for you. It only requires the currency of focus. Pay it daily, and the universe delivers change with interest. Your old life went bankrupt because you spent attention recklessly. Your new life will flourish because you will spend it like gold. Guard it, invest it, multiply it, and remember, where your eyes rest, your future grows. Chapter 13, Identity Molting. There comes a moment when the skin you wear no longer fits. It pinches at the edges, itches in the quiet, suffocates in the stillness. That skin is not your body. It is your identity. The one you've carried for years, shaped by parents, culture, mistakes, victories, and whispers of survival. But identity is not eternal. Like a snake shedding what is too tight, you must molt the old self to allow the new form to emerge. And molting is not graceful. It is raw, awkward, and necessary. The old life was stitched from labels. You wore them like garments, some chosen, most forced upon you. The responsible one, the quiet one, the rebel, the failure, the peacemaker. Each label became a lens through which you saw the world, and worse, through which the world saw you. Over time, these lenses hardened into cages. You began to believe they were truth rather than costumes. But now, in this 24-hour expiration of your old life, the cage is cracking. The molting has begun. At first, you will feel disoriented. When an identity falls away, you may stand before the mirror and feel like a ghost of yourself. You may not recognize the person staring back. This is not loss. This is liberation. The unfamiliarity is proof that the old story has loosened its grip. The process is uncomfortable because identities are sticky. They cling to you with invisible glue, whispering, "Without me, who are you? Without this role, what will you be?" And the truth is, you do not know yet. That uncertainty is sacred. You are between skins, naked but honest. This is where creation begins. The ritual of identity molting starts with recognition. Write down every label you've lived under, both flattering and shaming. Do not censor. Let them spill onto the page. Achiever, victim, dreamer, coward, hero, addict, saint. When the list is finished, sit with it. Notice the weight of these words. Notice which ones you cling to for safety, which ones you avoid out of fear. Then, in bold ink, write across the page, "Expired." This act is not symbolic. It is decisive. You are declaring to your subconscious that these roles have served their time. They may have protected you once, given you structure, even offered belonging, but now they are outdated garments, no longer suited for the body you are growing into. After recognition comes release. Burn the paper if you can. Watch the smoke rise as if your old identities are dissolving into the sky itself, or tear the paper into pieces and scatter them into running water. Let nature carry away what no longer serves you. The ritual is physical because the body must witness the release to believe it. And then comes the hardest part, waiting. Do not rush to claim a new identity too quickly. The temptation will be strong. You will want to grasp onto something familiar, a new role, a new label, a new cage, painted in brighter colors. Resist. Sit in the space between. Learn to breathe without definition. Learn to exist without performance. This emptiness is not a void, it is fertile ground. Gradually, a truer identity will rise. Not one imposed, not one borrowed, but one born from essence. It will not come as a label, but as a presence. You will feel it in your body before you can articulate it. You will notice it in how your eyes soften, how your shoulders align, how your voice deepens into authenticity. This is not an identity you cling to, it is one you embody. The molting process will repeat many times in your life. Each season of expansion demands a shedding. Each shedding feels like loss, but it is always gain. The only danger is refusing to shed, clinging to what no longer fits, and suffocating slowly in the skin of yesterday. So let the molting be messy. Let the uncertainty feel vast. Trust the wisdom of your soul to weave a new skin that fits the truth of who you are becoming. The old identity is gone. The new one is rising, and you, raw, tender, radiant, are ready to wear nothing but freedom until it arrives. Chapter 14. The One True Metric. In the noise of transformation, it is easy to drown in measurement. You want proof you are changing, so you count pounds lost, dollars gained, followers increased, hours worked. Numbers scatter like confetti, but none of them bring peace. They keep you chasing, doubting, second-guessing. That is because the old life trained you to measure everything by external validation. But your new life requires one true metric: alignment. Alignment is not about achievement, it is about congruence. It asks one question: did my actions today honor who I am becoming? If the answer is yes, then you are on the path. If the answer is no, then you have drifted. Nothing else matters. Think of it as a compass. You may not know the full map of your future, but you know when you are facing north. Each aligned action points you in the direction of destiny. Each misaligned action pulls you into detours of delay. And the compass does not lie. You feel it in your chest. When you honor your vow, there is a lightness, a warmth, a resonance. When you betray it, there is heaviness, tightness, a subtle shame. That feedback is more accurate than any spreadsheet. Choose one proof each day that demonstrates alignment. It does not have to be monumental. It might be speaking a truth you once would have swallowed. It might be deleting one distraction from your phone. It might be choosing a nourishing meal instead of a numbing one. The size is irrelevant. The alignment is everything. At night, reflect on this proof. Write it in a journal, whisper it aloud, or simply hold it in your heart. This act of recognition reinforces the pattern, telling your subconscious, this is who we are now. Over time, the small, aligned acts compound, creating a life that feels inevitable in its integrity. Beware the seduction of comparison. Others will flaunt their metrics, cars, titles, applause. Do not measure by their rulers. 1,000 empty trophies cannot equal one act of alignment. Remember, success without congruence is still failure. It looks impressive but feels hollow. The old life was filled with hollowness. The new life must not be. This one metric simplifies everything. You no longer have to juggle endless goals or chase validation. Each day becomes a single question, was I aligned? And each yes becomes a stone laid on the path of your destiny. The truth is, the universe responds not to perfection, but to congruence. It rewards those who live in harmony with their vow, regardless of the size of the act. When you align, synchronicities appear, doors open, energy flows. When you misalign, everything feels harder, slower, resistant. Alignment is the lever, pull it, and reality shifts. So let your one true metric be your compass. Each day, seek proof that you lived in congruence. Collect those proofs like sacred gems. In time, you will look back and see a trail of alignment so consistent it becomes undeniable. And that trail will not just show where you have been, it will point exactly where you are going. Chapter 15. Noon Reset, Not Relapse. Every transformation faces the same danger, relapse. The mornings begin with clarity, rituals performed, vows spoken. But by noon, the weight of the day presses in. Emails pile, voices demand, fatigue hums. The old self creeps back quietly, whispering compromises. By afternoon, you may wonder if the morning's fire was just fantasy. This is where most people fail, not because they lacked vision, but because they lacked a reset. Noon is the pivot. It is the halfway mark where the momentum of the morning can either be carried forward or collapse into old habits. Without awareness, noon becomes the hour of relapse. But with awareness, noon becomes the sacred reset, a chance to realign before the day slips through your fingers. The ritual is simple but profound. At midday, pause. Step away from the noise. Find silence, even if only for 3 minutes. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your chest. Breathe deeply. 3 full inhales, 3 complete exhales. Ask yourself the one question, am I aligned right now? Do not justify, do not analyze. Just feel. If the answer is yes, breathe gratitude and continue. If the answer is no, reset immediately. Reset can take many forms. It may be re-speaking your vow aloud. It may be deleting the distraction that stole your focus. It may be standing, stretching, walking outside to feel the sun. It may be drinking water and choosing nourishment. Each act is less important than the intention. To interrupt the relapse and reclaim alignment. This midday practice is like recalibrating a compass. Without it, even a slight drift can take you miles off course by evening. With it, you return to your true north again and again, building trust with yourself. You prove that relapse is not destiny, that one slip does not define you, that every moment holds the power of return. Over time, the noon reset becomes a rhythm. Your body begins to expect it, crave it. Instead of collapse, you experience renewal. Instead of fatigue, you find clarity. Noon stops being the hour of temptation and becomes the hour of power. And here is the deeper truth. Each reset trains your nervous system in resilience. You stop fearing failure because you know you can return. You stop doubting progress because you see how quickly you can realign. Transformation ceases to be fragile. it becomes inevitable. The old life thrived on relapse. It counted on your fatigue, your distractions, your surrender by midday. But the new life thrives on resets. It knows the day is long and the self is human. It does not demand perfection, it demands return. So let noon become your holy hour. Guard it, honor it. Use it as the reset that keeps you aligned, steady, unshakable. With this practice, relapse loses its teeth. The countdown continues, and you remain firmly on course, breathing, aligned, and unrelenting in your becoming. Chapter 16. Momentum Stacking. Momentum is not magic. It is not a lightning strike reserved for the chosen. It is built, brick by brick, choice by choice, act by act. Every transformation is fragile in the beginning, like a spark in the wind. Without momentum, it flickers and dies. With momentum, it becomes a flame that consumes everything in its path. That is why you must learn the art of momentum stacking, the practice of compounding small brave acts into unstoppable force. Your old life was a master of inertia. It lulled you into cycles of hesitation, convincing you that one action was too small to matter. It whispered, "What's the point of making the bed if the rest of the room is a mess? Why bother saying no once if you'll cave tomorrow? Why take one step if the journey is 1,000 miles?" That voice was the enemy of momentum, and it thrived on keeping you still. But the new life thrives on accumulation. Every act of alignment, no matter how small, carries weight. Making the bed is not just tidiness. It is a declaration that chaos no longer reigns. Saying no once is not insignificant. It is proof that your boundaries are alive. Taking one step is not wasted. It is laying the first stone of a road that will carry you further than you can imagine. Momentum does not require grand gestures. It requires consistency. Begin with micro acts. Drink a glass of water when your body craves sugar. Speak one word of truth when you feel the pull to lie. Take 3 breaths before you touch the glowing screen. Each act is a vote for your new self. A seed planted in the soil of your becoming. Alone, a single seed seems trivial, but when planted daily, they grow into a forest that cannot be ignored. Stack them intentionally. Do not scatter your acts like pebbles. Place them one on top of another, building height and weight. If you begin the morning with a declaration of your vow, follow it by aligning your body posture. Then choose words that affirm, not diminish. Then create a space that reflects yes, not no. Each layer strengthens the one before it. By midday, you are not just living a new life. You are carrying the compounded weight of every decision made since dawn. That weight becomes momentum, and momentum carries you when willpower falters. There will be days when resistance is strong. You may not feel like acting. In those moments, shrink the act. Do not demand perfection. If you cannot run a mile, walk 1 block. If you cannot write a page, write 1 sentence. If you cannot speak a bold truth, whisper it to yourself. The size does not matter, the stack does. Even the smallest stone, when placed daily, builds a mountain. Momentum stacking has another power. It erodes doubt. When your old self whispers, "You'll never change," you can point to proof. You can say, "I have stacked alignment every day. I have evidence. I am moving." Doubt cannot argue with evidence. Each act of alignment becomes a receipt of progress, and those receipts accumulate until they silence the voice of fear. Others will notice the shift. They may not understand the details, but they will sense the current. They will see how you carry yourself differently, how you act with consistency, how you are no longer swayed by distractions. They may call it discipline, but you will know it is momentum. You have stacked enough small acts to create a force larger than yourself. And here is the final truth. Momentum creates inevitability. When you stack enough alignment, your transformation stops being fragile. It becomes certain. The universe responds to certainty. Doors open, opportunities arise, synchronicities appear, Not because you are lucky, but because your momentum has created a gravitational pull. You are no longer hoping for change. You are moving in it. Stack every day. Stack without pause. Stack until your momentum is so strong that nothing, no fear, no distraction, no doubt can stop you. Momentum is your ally now, and once built, it will carry you further than you dreamed possible. Chapter 17. The Mirror at Dusk. Evenings hold power. They are the bridge between the day you lived and the night that creates your tomorrow. Most people waste this bridge. They collapse into distraction, numbing themselves until sleep takes them. They enter the night unconscious, dragging their old life with them into dreams. But you, walking this 24-hour threshold, cannot afford such carelessness. You must claim the mirror at dusk, the sacred ritual of seeing yourself before the night remakes you. The mirror does not lie. It reflects not only your face, but your essence. When you stand before it in the fading light of day, you see not just features, but choices. The eyes reveal if you honored your vow. The mouth reveals if you spoke truth or compromise. The posture reveals if you carried yourself as the new self or collapsed into the old. The mirror at dusk is the most honest witness of your day. Do not rush this ritual. Stand in silence. Light a candle if you can, letting its flame soften the harshness of reflection. Look into your own eyes. Ask the question, did I honor who I am becoming today? Do not allow excuses. Do not recite justifications. The mirror knows. It will reflect alignment or misalignment without judgment. Your task is to face it. If you honored your vow, celebrate. Whisper gratitude. Tell yourself, I see you. I am proud of you. Let the mirror reflect not only the choices but the dignity of alignment. This celebration is not vanity. It is reinforcement. It tells your subconscious, we are on the path. We can trust ourselves. If you faltered, do not hide. Speak it aloud. I drifted. I compromised. The act of confession breaks the cycle of denial. Then reset immediately. Look into your own eyes and declare, tomorrow I return. I will not abandon myself. This declaration, spoken into your reflection, carries power. Your subconscious records it as commitment, not as failure. The mirror at dusk also carries another gift. Integration. Throughout the day, you scattered fragments of yourself in work, in words, in choices. At night, the mirror gathers them back. By standing in front of it with awareness, you call your energy home. You arrive whole, not fragmented, ready to enter sleep as a complete self. Make this ritual daily. Even when tired, even when tempted to skip, stand before the mirror. The habit itself builds trust. You will begin to anticipate the meeting, knowing that each evening you must face the truth. This anticipation keeps you accountable. It guides your choices during the day, reminding you that the mirror awaits. Others will not know about this ritual, but they will sense its effect. They will notice how your eyes grow steadier, how your presence deepens, how you carry quiet authority. That is the power of someone who faces themselves nightly. They no longer need validation from others. They have already validated themselves. The mirror at dusk is not about appearance. It is about recognition. It is about looking into your own eyes and saying, I am here. I am becoming. I am not turning back. With this ritual, you close each day in alignment and enter the night ready to program the self you are building. Do not neglect the mirror. It is your witness, your ally, your truth teller, and in its reflection, you will see the new life solidifying before your very eyes. Chapter 18. Sleep as Architect. Sleep is not absence, it is construction. While the world believes sleep is unconsciousness, you now know it is creation. Every night, the subconscious builds scaffolding around your thoughts, weaving them into the architecture of your tomorrow. That is why sleep is not passive. It is the most powerful tool in your transformation. Your old life squandered this tool. It dragged stress into bed, replayed failures as lullabies, surrendered to glowing screens until exhaustion forced surrender. Night after night, the subconscious was programmed with fear, scarcity, and despair, and then you woke surprised to live the same cycles again. But the cycle is not mystery. It is architecture. The blueprint drawn at night becomes the building you live in by day. Now you must claim sleep as sacred. Enter it not as collapse, but as ceremony. Begin with preparation. Clear your space. Remove clutter from your bedside. Dim the lights. Breathe deeply, signaling to your body that night has shifted from survival to creation. Each gesture tells your subconscious, we are about to build. Next, feed your mind deliberate blueprints. Do not let the last words you speak be complaints. Do not let the last images you see be chaos. Instead, speak your vow again. Whisper your chosen affirmations. Visualize yourself living the life you are becoming. Picture it vividly, the room, the voices, the sensations. Let these images be the final seeds you plant before surrendering to sleep. Your subconscious does not distinguish between vision and memory. It receives both as reality. That is why programming before sleep is so potent. The mind will spend the night rehearsing the life you pictured, strengthening neural pathways, making it feel inevitable. When you wake, you will not only remember the vision, you will embody it. Sleep also processes what you could not in waking. It takes pain, confusion, uncertainty, and digests them. It sorts through fragments, weaving order from chaos. But only if you allow it. If you flood your body with stimulation before bed, the subconscious spends the night untangling noise instead of building. This is why ritual is non-negotiable. Enter sleep with intention, and sleep becomes your architect. Treat your bed as altar. Lay down not as escape, but as offering. Place your hand on your heart. Whisper gratitude for what you live today. Whisper vision for what you will live tomorrow. Then surrender. Trust that while you rest, your subconscious is drawing blueprints on the canvas of your brain. Over time, you will notice changes. Dreams will become more vivid, carrying symbols of your transformation. You will wake with solutions that seemed impossible the night before. Your mornings will feel lighter, as though the weight of resistance dissolved in the night. This is not coincidence, it is architecture. The old self may resist at first. It will crave distraction, scrolling noise. Do not indulge it. Each night you choose ritual over collapse, you teach your subconscious that you are serious about creation, and the subconscious responds with loyalty, building the structures of the life you vow to live. Sleep is not escape, it is construction. Treat it as such, and it will become your most powerful ally. While others drift unconscious, you will be building. While others waste the night, you will be weaving destiny. Sleep as architect, wake as creation. Chapter 19. The Quiet That Follows. After the fire of change comes a silence. It arrives like a pause in music, a breath held between movements. Many mistake this quiet for emptiness, for loss, for the absence of progress. But the quiet that follows transformation is not absence. It is integration. It is the body, the mind, the spirit adjusting to the new frequency you now live in. It is the soil resting after being tilled, holding still so the seeds can root. Your old life feared silence. It filled every gap with noise, with distraction, with endless chatter. It trained you to believe that busyness equals progress, that stillness equals failure. But busyness was only camouflage for stagnation, and stillness was always the true signal of growth. The quiet is not your enemy, it is your ally. It is proof that the storm of shedding has passed, and the ground is fertile again. In these moments you may feel unsettled. You have severed ties, spoken oaths, stacked momentum. The adrenaline of change is intoxicating, but adrenaline is not sustainable. Once it ebbs, you are left with stillness. This is where many relapse. They panic in the quiet, mistaking calm for regression. They rush to fill it with noise, sabotaging their own integration. Do not fall into this trap. Do not confuse quiet with void. The quiet is where your new self takes root. Practice sitting in this silence. When the urge arises to fill it with distraction, resist. Light a candle. Breathe, listen. Let the silence press against you until it reveals its texture. You will begin to notice things you missed before. The rhythm of your own breath, the subtle hum of your environment, the whispers of intuition that were drowned out by chaos. The quiet is not empty. It is full of signals, but you must tune yourself to hear them. You may feel loneliness here, but even loneliness is an illusion. You are not abandoned. You are being recalibrated. You are learning how to belong to yourself. That ache you feel is the stretch of your spirit growing into new space. Instead of resisting it, honor it. Say aloud, "This silence is sacred. This quiet is proof of my becoming." The quiet also teaches discernment. In noise, everything feels urgent. In stillness, you can finally distinguish what truly matters. You will notice how some thoughts shrink in silence, revealed as trivial. Others grow louder, revealed as essential. This is guidance. This is your inner compass, amplified in the absence of noise. Trust it. Follow it. There will come a day when the quiet feels less foreign, when you begin to crave it, even protect it, because you will realize it is not the absence of life, it is the foundation of it. Creativity, clarity, vision, all are born in silence. The noise of the world is only ever the echo. The real genesis happens in the quiet. Do not run from the pause. Stand in it. Breathe in it. Let it wrap around you like a cloak. For in this sacred quiet, your new life is not only preserved, it is strengthened. And when the noise returns, as it always will, you will carry within you the memory of this stillness, the knowledge that silence is not emptiness, but power. The quiet that follows is not the end of momentum. It is the proof that momentum has become you. Chapter 20. Desire without permission. Desire is holy. It is the pulse of creation, the whisper of your soul declaring what it came here to live. Yet the old life taught you to treat desire as dangerous, shameful, selfish. It told you to shrink it, to bury it, to ask for permission before daring to feel it. You learned to seek approval before claiming what your heart already knew. This was the greatest theft, the belief that desire must be earned. But the truth is simple. You do not need permission to want. Desire is not a request. It is a directive. It is the blueprint of your soul trying to unfold. To deny desire is to deny life itself. To honor it is to step into alignment with your reason for existing. The countdown demands this shift. In your old life, you delayed desire. You waited until conditions were perfect, until others approved, until fear quieted. None of those conditions ever came, and so desire withered, starved of expression. But in this new life, you must feed it daily. You must allow it to expand, unshamed, unfiltered, unapproved. Begin by naming your desires aloud, not just the small, acceptable ones, but the wild, forbidden ones. Say, "I desire freedom. I desire abundance. I desire intimacy. I desire greatness." Do not shrink them to fit someone else's comfort. Speak them in their full magnitude. The act of naming alone will awaken your spirit, sending a signal through your body. We are alive. We are worthy. We are allowed. Permission is the illusion. You have been waiting for family, society, or circumstance to say yes. But the universe already did the moment it placed the desire in you. If the blueprint exists, the materials exist. The yes has been inside you all along. Notice how your body responds to desire. When you allow yourself to feel it without shame, there is a rush of warmth, an expansion in the chest, a spark in the belly. This is your soul affirming, this is right. That sensation is not arrogance, it is alignment. The shame you feel is not natural, it is inherited. Release it. Desire is not selfish because it is never only about you. When you live your desires, you expand the world. You create art that inspires, businesses that employ, love that heals, wisdom that guides. Your fulfilled desire becomes nourishment for others. The suppression of desire serves no one. Its expression serves everyone. Practice acting on desire without delay. If you crave creativity, paint tonight. If you long for connection, make the call. If you hunger for growth, enroll in the class. Do not wait until you feel ready. Readiness is a lie told by fear. Desire itself is readiness. There will be resistance. People may call you selfish. They may accuse you of arrogance. They may mock your vision. Let them. Their resistance is not about your desire. It is about their own fear of claiming theirs. Do not absorb it. Stand firm. Say aloud, I need no permission. My desire is holy. As you live this way, you will notice something miraculous. The more you honor desire, the more desire flows. It compounds. It strengthens. It begins to lead you with clarity, guiding you into opportunities you could not have imagined. Life itself conspires with those who dare to want. Desire without permission is not recklessness, it is truth. It is the audacity to say yes to what your soul already chose for you. And when you live this way, you do not just survive, you blaze. You become a beacon for others, proof that life was never meant to be endured, but embodied. Chapter 21. Language of Unapology. Apology has its place. When harm is done, apology heals. But you have been apologizing for the wrong things. You have been apologizing for existing, for wanting, for shining, for saying no. You have littered your life with sorry, shrinking yourself into acceptability. And the old life thrived on this habit, feeding on your constant self-erasure. But in your new life, apology is reserved for true harm, for mistakes corrected with humility, for wrongs made right. Everything else requires a new language. The language of unapology. Unapology is not arrogance. It is clarity. It is the refusal to apologize for being who you are, for choosing alignment, for living your vow. It is saying yes without adding sorry, saying no without softening the edges, taking up space without asking permission. Begin to notice how often you apologize unconsciously. When someone bumps into you and you say sorry, when you speak your truth and immediately soften it with apology, when you decline an invitation and pile on excuses to make it palatable. Each of these sorries chips away at your sovereignty. Each one tells your subconscious, I am wrong for existing. Replace them. When someone bumps into you, say, excuse me, not I'm sorry. When you speak truth, let it stand. When you decline, say, that doesn't work for me, without justifying. At first, the words will feel foreign. Your body may tremble, expecting backlash. But slowly, your nervous system will learn, unapology is safe. I can stand in my choice without shrinking. Others may resist. They may call you harsh, distant, cold. But this is only because they benefited from your apologies. They thrived on your willingness to carry guilt that wasn't yours. When you stop, their discomfort is not your burden. Stay steady. The language of unapology liberates your voice. It clears space for honesty, for boundaries, for expression. It teaches others how to meet you without manipulation. It tells your subconscious, I am allowed to be here fully, without shame. Practice in small ways. Remove unnecessary sorries from your daily speech. Notice how your posture changes when you speak without shrinking. Notice how your chest feels lighter when you claim your space unapologetically. These are not trivial shifts. They are rewiring your identity at its core. The old life was built on constant apology. The new life is built on unapologetic truth. Speak it. Stand in it. Let your words carry the weight of sovereignty, not the shackles of guilt. Unapology is freedom, and when you learn its language, you stop begging for space. You take it. You stop asking for permission. You live it. And the world, though startled at first, will adjust. They always do. Chapter 22. The Failure Immunity. Failure has been your shadow. It followed you into classrooms, onto stages, into conversations where your voice trembled. Each time you dreamed bigger, it hissed warnings. What if you fall? What if you embarrass yourself? What if you prove you are not enough? And so you delayed, avoided, abandoned. The old life trained you to treat failure as poison, something to be dodged at all costs. But the new life whispers a different truth. Failure is not poison. It is medicine. Bitter, yes, but sacred. To become who you are becoming, you must build immunity to failure. Immunity does not mean you stop failing. It means failure no longer makes you sick. It no longer infects your spirit with shame. It no longer freezes you in hesitation. Immunity transforms failure from predator to teacher. Each stumble becomes fuel. Each setback becomes data. Each collapse becomes foundation. Consider this. Every skill you have today was forged in failure. You once fell when learning to walk. You once scribbled nonsense before learning to write. You once stuttered before learning to speak. If failure was truly fatal, you would not have survived childhood. You have always been immune. You simply forgot. Failure immunity begins with reframing. Stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What will failure teach me faster than success ever could?" Because success whispers, but failure shouts. Success lulls you into comfort, but failure jolts you awake. Success maintains, but failure transforms. The ritual of immunity is simple. When you stumble, name the lesson immediately. Do not wallow. Do not spiral. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Anchor it. By extracting the wisdom quickly, you starve shame of its oxygen. Shame thrives in silence and delay. It dies in clarity and immediacy. Next, expose yourself deliberately. Seek small failures on purpose. Try the skill you've avoided. Speak before you are ready. Attempt the project you are not fully prepared for. Each deliberate stumble builds antibodies. You discover that rejection does not kill, embarrassment does not linger, and mistakes do not end you. The fear loses its bite. You begin to crave the discomfort, knowing each awkward attempt strengthens your immunity. Others may watch you and wonder how you move so freely. They will marvel at your courage, not realizing it is not the absence of fear, but the acceptance of failure. You will become untouchable, not because you never fall, but because falling no longer defines you. Failure immunity also alters your relationship with time. In the old life, you wasted years avoiding risks. In the new life, you collapse timelines by learning through failure quickly. Every attempt, whether successful or not, moves you forward. The path becomes shorter because you are willing to trip. Do not mistake immunity for recklessness. This is not about ignoring preparation or wisdom. It is about refusing to let the possibility of failure paralyze you. It is about moving, knowing that whether you rise or fall, you win. Either outcome brings growth. Soon, failure becomes neutral. It no longer carries the weight of identity. It becomes simply feedback, a compass correction, a stepping stone. And with each stumble survived, you build evidence. I can fail and still rise. I can lose and still live. I can break and still rebuild. This evidence builds unshakable confidence. Immunity to failure is freedom. It frees you to act, to risk, to expand without waiting for certainty. It frees you to live boldly, knowing that even in falling, you rise stronger. The countdown demands this immunity. Without it, you will hesitate. With it, you will move without chains. So let failure come. Invite it. Thank it. Each time it visits, remind yourself, this is not poison, this is medicine, I am immune, and then walk forward unstoppable. Chapter 23, Signal over Noise. Your world is a storm of noise. Notifications flashing, opinions shouting, advertisements pleading. Every voice demands your attention, insisting it is urgent. But most of it is static, meaningless interference that scatters your focus. In your old life, you surrendered to the noise. You scrolled endlessly, consumed without discernment, and called it living. But in truth, you were drowning. The new life requires a sharper ear. It demands that you learn to separate signal from noise. Signal is truth. Signal is clarity. Signal is alignment. Noise is everything else. And unless you filter with intention, noise will always drown out signal. Begin with your digital life. Look at the streams of content flowing into your hands daily. How much of it feeds you? How much drains you? Which voices sharpen your vision and which scatter it? You must curate relentlessly. Delete apps that numb you. Unfollow voices that poison you. Reduce inputs until only signal remains. This is not cruelty, it is survival. Next, examine your conversations. Noise hides in gossip, in complaints, in endless rehashing of problems without solutions. Signal lives in truth-telling, in encouragement, in ideas that expand you. Notice how your body reacts to each. Gossip leaves you heavy. Truth leaves you light. Complaints drain you. Ideas energize you. Choose accordingly. Speak signal, listen to signal, and withdraw from noise. Your inner world is the same. Noise is the loop of self-doubt, the chatter of fear, the rehearsals of failure. Signal is the quiet knowing, the intuition, the whisper of alignment. To hear it, you must create space. Silence the noise with breath, with stillness, with ritual. Signal does not shout, it whispers. You must be willing to quiet enough to hear. This is not about perfection. Noise will always exist. The goal is discernment. Each moment, ask, is this signal or noise? If it is signal, lean in. If it is noise, release. This question alone will transform your days. As you train this discernment, life simplifies. Choices become clearer. Energy multiplies. You stop scattering your attention on trivialities and begin investing it in what truly matters. The path ahead glows brighter, not because the world is quieter, but because you have tuned yourself to the right frequency. Others will notice the difference. While they drown in distraction, you will move with precision. While they chase every echo, you will follow the true tone. This is the power of choosing signal over noise. It makes you unshakable, unstoppable, aligned. Noise is endless. Signal is rare, but signal is enough to guide you through any storm. Tune yourself to it, protect it, follow it relentlessly, and the world will bend to its clarity. Chapter 24, The Return of Your Name. There is a moment in every life where you realize you have been living under borrowed names, names others gave you, names you accepted without question. Some were spoken aloud, nicknames, titles, roles. Others were whispered invisibly, failure, too much, not enough. These names wrapped around you like cloaks, and over time, you forgot your true one. You forgot the name your soul carried before the world touched you. Your old life was lived under those false names. You responded to them as though they were true. You built identities to match them, destinies to serve them. But deep inside, something always rebelled. Some part of you whispered, "This is not who I am. This is not my name." That whisper has become a roar now. In these hours of transformation, it is time to return. Your true name is not syllables. It is essence. It is the vibration of your soul, the frequency of your being. You knew it as a child before shame taught you to shrink. You felt it in play, in wonder, in the moments you forgot to perform. It was always there, waiting for you to remember. The return begins with recognition. Sit in silence and ask, who was I before the world told me who to be? Let the memories rise, times when you felt most alive, most free, most yourself. These are breadcrumbs leading back to your true name. Next, listen to your body. When you speak false names, failure, burden, disappointment, your chest tightens, your breath shortens. When you whisper your true essence, creator, healer, leader, explorer, your body expands. This expansion is proof the body knows your name even when the mind forgets. Then reclaim it aloud. Speak the words that feel like home, even if they scare you. Say, I am a creator, I am a leader, I am love, I am power, I am free. Speak them into mirrors, into silence, into the night. Speak until the vibration feels familiar again, until it echoes inside your bones. Others may resist. They may mock your new declarations, cling to your old names. Do not argue. Simply stop responding. Refuse to answer to names that are not yours. With time, the world will adjust, or it will fall away. Either outcome is freedom. Returning to your name is more than identity. It is destiny. When you live under false names, your life misaligns. When you reclaim your true one, everything clicks. Opportunities align, relationships resonate, energy flows. The universe knows you by your true name and responds when you speak it. This is why the countdown demands this return. You cannot step into your new life while carrying borrowed names. They are expired. Only your true essence can pass through the doorway. So speak it, sing it, write it, etch it into every breath. Let the world hear it in your walk, your choices, your presence. This is not reinvention. It is remembrance. You are not becoming someone new. You are becoming who you always were. Your name is waiting. Take it back and live. Chapter 25. Sacred Pace. Speed was the drug of your old life. You rushed through mornings, rushed through conversations, rushed through seasons of your own becoming. You mistook velocity for progress, believing the faster you moved, the more you mattered. But rushing was always an escape. A way of outrunning silence, a way of distracting yourself from the fact that you felt unfulfilled. The new life will not tolerate this addiction. It demands sacred pace, a rhythm that is slower than panic, yet faster than hesitation, a stride aligned with truth rather than fear. Sacred pace begins with breath. When you rush, your breath shortens, your chest tightens, your nervous system shifts into survival. But survival is not creation. Creation requires expansion, openness, steadiness. Every inhale is a reminder, I am here. Every exhale is a declaration, I am not racing. By breathing deeply, you reset your rhythm, teaching your body that life is not something to outrun, but something to inhabit. Notice how your days feel when you honor sacred pace. You move through tasks with presence, not frenzy. You listen fully instead of rehearsing your response while others speak. You eat slowly, tasting nourishment instead of swallowing fuel. You walk without rushing, noticing the way sunlight warms your skin, the way wind brushes your cheek. This is not inefficiency, it is mastery, because sacred pace is not about doing less. It is about doing what matters with full attention, unfragmented. Your old self feared slowing down because it equated slowness with laziness. But laziness is not stillness. Laziness is avoidance. Sacred pace is the opposite. It is presence. It is devotion. It is aligning your speed with your vow, rather than with society's constant demand to hurry. Sacred pace also protects against burnout. The old life glorified exhaustion, treating depletion as a badge of honor. But depletion is not proof of greatness. It is proof of misalignment. Sacred pace recognizes that energy is currency. You do not spend it recklessly. You invest it wisely. You work when aligned. You rest when needed. You move in cycles instead of endless sprints. This practice will feel foreign at first. Your body may twitch with restlessness. Your mind may scream, "You're falling behind." Let it scream. Breathe deeper. Walk slower. Trust the truth. You are not behind. You are finally on time with yourself. Over time, sacred pace becomes your natural rhythm. Others will notice. They will sense calm in your presence, clarity in your words, gravity in your actions. They will feel that you are not rushing toward life. You are living it. This steadiness will draw people to you because sacred pace is magnetic. It signals confidence, sovereignty, mastery. The countdown demands this shift. If you try to rush your new life, you will stumble into old patterns. If you move too slowly, you will stall in hesitation. Sacred pace is the middle path, the rhythm that keeps you aligned, grounded, and unstoppable. So breathe, walk, speak, act, do it all in sacred pace. Let panic dissolve, let hesitation vanish. Align your rhythm with truth. In this pace, you will find not only freedom but power, because when you stop rushing, you stop scattering your energy, and when you stop scattering and matching, you become unstoppable. Chapter 26. Proof in the Physical. The old life was built on intention without embodiment. You spoke desires, you dreamed visions, you whispered affirmations, but they lived only in the air. They never touched the ground. They never entered your calendar, your wallet, your body, and so they evaporated. Dreams without evidence dissolve into fantasy. That is why the new life demands proof in the physical. Proof is action. Proof is manifestation anchored into matter. Proof is the difference between the saying, "I am free," and physically clearing the space in your home that suffocates you. Proof is the difference between affirming abundance and transferring money into a savings account. Proof is the difference between declaring love for yourself and nourishing your body with care instead of neglect. Words are seeds, but proof is water. Without proof, nothing grows. Begin by asking, what physical evidence can I create today that proves I am living in alignment? Do not wait for grand gestures. Start small. If your vow is freedom, clean the drawer stuffed with clutter. If your vow is courage, send the message you've avoided. If your vow is abundance, track one expense and honor it. Each act becomes tangible evidence. Each act tells your subconscious, this is real. We are not pretending. The body believes what it sees and feels more than what it hears. When you create physical proof, you bypass doubt, you build trust. Your subconscious says, the words are not empty. They are being lived. And when the subconscious believes, reality bends. Over time, the evidence stacks. Your calendar reflects alignment. Your bank account reflects growth. Your home reflects clarity. Your body reflects care. These are not decorations, they are anchors. They prevent relapse into fantasy. They remind you daily, I am living my vow. Proof in the physical also silences critics. When others doubt your transformation, you need not argue. You need only point to evidence. They will see it in your posture, your environment, your results. Proof speaks louder than explanation. Proof cannot be denied. Do not mistake this for perfectionism. Proof is not about achieving everything at once. It is about embodying alignment in visible ways. It is about taking the unseen vow and giving it shape, texture, presence. Each proof, no matter how small, strengthens the architecture of your new life. By the end of this practice, you will notice something profound. You no longer need to convince yourself that you are changing. The evidence surrounds you. It stares back from your mirror, your room, your relationships. The proof is undeniable, and with undeniable proof, you become undeniable. The countdown will not end in theory. It will end in evidence. Make your vow visible. Make it tangible. Make it undeniable. Because when your words and your world align, the old life has no foothold left. Only the new remains. Chapter 27. The Bridge You Burn Kindly. Not every part of your old life can be carried forward. Some bridges must burn, the relationships, the roles, the patterns that kept you chained. If you try to walk both paths, you will tear yourself apart. The new life requires commitment, and commitment sometimes looks like fire, but the burning need not be cruel. You can burn bridges kindly, with love, with grace, with finality. Kindness does not mean hesitation. It means clarity delivered without venom. It means speaking truth without malice. It means closing doors with gratitude rather than rage, because rage ties you to what you release. Gratitude severs the cord cleanly. Begin with honesty. Identify the bridges that no longer serve, the habits that choke you, the conversations that drain you, the commitments that misalign. Name them, see them clearly, and then with steady hands, prepare to burn. The ritual of burning begins with words. Speak aloud, even if only to yourself. This is finished. I thank it for what it gave me. I release it now. These words strike the match. Then act. Decline the invitation. Resign from the role. Stop returning the call. Remove yourself physically, firmly, gently. This is the flame consuming the wood. Do not expect applause. Some will call you selfish. Some will accuse you of betrayal. But betrayal is not leaving. It is staying when your soul has already gone. To remain in misalignment is the true cruelty. To leave kindly is the true mercy. As the bridge burns, you may feel grief. Allow it. Grief is the smoke of release. Breathe it in, let it pass. Do not confuse it with regret. Grief honors the ending. Regret clings to it. You owe yourself grief. You owe yourself release. But you owe yourself no regret. Burning kindly also means you do not scorch the earth behind you. You do not curse those who remain. You do not spit on what once served. You honor it even as you walk away. This preserves your spirit from bitterness, leaving you free to step forward untainted. And here lies the truth. The bridge was never meant to last forever. It carried you as far as it could. Its wood is splintered, its ropes frayed. To keep walking, it is to risk collapse. To burn it is to accept that its purpose is complete. The fire is final. Once burned, the bridge cannot be crossed again. This is the gift. It eliminates the temptation to return. It forces your feet forward. It secures your commitment to the new path. The fire becomes your ally, ensuring there is no way back into chains. By burning kindly, you do not create enemies. You create clarity. You free yourself without poisoning others. You honor the past while choosing the future. And when the ashes cool, you will feel lighter. You will look ahead and see no path back, only forward. The old life thrived on half measures, on keeping one foot in safety and one in desire. The new life demands full commitment. Burn the bridge. Do it kindly. Do it completely. Then walk forward, unburdened, unbound, unstoppable. Chapter 28. Irreversibility. There is a moment in every transformation where the bridge is gone, the door has closed, the old map has dissolved into ash. This is the moment of irreversibility. You can sense it in your body, the way nostalgia no longer tempts, the way regret has lost its teeth, the way the past feels like someone else's story instead of your own. You have crossed into a territory where returning is impossible, not because someone has forbidden it, but because your soul has outgrown it. Irreversibility is frightening at first. The mind resists finality. It craves escape routes, safety nets, backup plans. It whispers, "What if you need to go back? What if this fails?" That whisper is the last gasp of the old self. It cannot survive the new life, so it clings to contingency. But contingencies keep you chained. If you know you can return, you will never fully commit. That is why irreversibility is sacred. It seals your vow with fire. The ritual of irreversibility requires courage. You must remove the exits. Delete the contacts that tether you to expired identities. Cancel the subscriptions that drain you back into noise. Close the accounts that belong to your old self. Resign from commitments that suffocate your vow. Each act is a brick wall built where a door once stood. Each act sends a message to your subconscious. There is no going back. Forward is the only direction. Irreversibility also happens inside. You must stop rehearsing old stories. Stop replaying old wounds as identity. Stop daydreaming about alternate lives where you remained safe in smallness. These rehearsals keep the past alive. Refuse them. Replace them with the language of finality. That life is finished. That self is gone. That chapter is closed. Repeat until your subconscious accepts it as truth. The beauty of irreversibility is freedom. When there is no option to return, every ounce of energy moves forward. Doubt diminishes because there is no alternative. Creativity blossoms because survival demands it. You no longer dabble in your transformation. You embody it fully. The fire has burned away the retreat, and in the open expanse ahead, possibility multiplies. Others may be unsettled. They may ask, why so extreme? Why burn it all? Why not keep your options open? But options are chains disguised as choices. To live half in, half out is to live nowhere at all. You will not apologize for your finality. You will not justify your permanence. You will simply stand steady in the truth that what is gone will never return. Irreversibility is not loss. It is liberation. It is the refusal to dilute your becoming with echoes of who you once were. It is the courage to declare, I have chosen, I have crossed, I do not look back. And once spoken, once lived, this truth becomes a shield. The past cannot call you anymore. The old life cannot lure you anymore. It has no claim. The sandglass continues, and irreversibility is the click that locks it in place. No reversal, no hesitation, no retreat. Only forward, only creation, only truth. Chapter 29, The New Gravity. Every choice creates a pull. The old life had its gravity. It dragged you into repetition, pulled you back into comfort, weighed you down with inertia. But with each vow spoken, each proof embodied, each bridge burned, you have shifted your orbit. You now stand in a field of new gravity, and everything around you begins to rearrange itself in response. This new gravity is subtle at first. You notice it in small ways. The conversations that no longer hold appeal, the invitations that feel hollow, the cravings that vanish without effort. You realize you are no longer magnetized to what once bound you. Your frequency has shifted, and resonance no longer exists where it used to. Then you notice the opposite, new opportunities appearing as if from nowhere. A message from someone aligned with your vision, a door opening that once seemed locked, a chance encounter that feels fated. These are not coincidences. They are the universe responding to your new gravity. You have become a different kind of center, and life reorganizes around you. The old self feared that leaving the past would mean isolation. But the truth is, when you shift your gravity, you attract new orbiters. People aligned with your vow, environments aligned with your essence, opportunities aligned with your destiny. They were always there, circling at a distance, waiting for your frequency to match theirs. Now it does, and they draw near. But gravity is not passive, it requires maintenance. If you slip back into old patterns, your field weakens and the past pulls at you again. That is why consistency matters. Your daily practices, breath, vow, alignment, proof are the engines that maintain your new orbit. Do not abandon them. Protect them like sacred fuel. This new gravity also brings responsibility. Others will feel it when they are near you. They will sense steadiness, clarity, pull. Some will be drawn, seeking your light. Others will resist, feeling threatened by the shift. You cannot control their response. You can only remain steady in your field, refusing to shrink to ease their discomfort. Understand this. Gravity does not argue. It does not plead. It simply is. Stand firm in your alignment, and those who belong in your orbit will stay. Those who do not will drift away. Let them. That is how gravity sorts. Over time, you will realize that you no longer chase. You no longer beg. You no longer strain. You simply embody your vow, and life arranges itself accordingly. This is the power of the new gravity. It eliminates desperation. It transforms effort into magnetism. It makes alignment inevitable. The old life pulled you downward. The new gravity lifts you upward, and as you rise, everything rises with you. Chapter 30, Day 25. The sand glass has emptied. The countdown is complete. 24 hours ago, your old life began to expire, grain by grain, habit by habit, belief by belief. And now, here you stand, not at an ending, but at a threshold. This is Day 25, the day beyond expiration, the day where the new life is not possibility, but reality. Look back for a moment, not with longing, but with recognition. You severed the contracts of your past. You spoke the no negotiation oath. You cleared the unalive, deleted with intention, breathed life into your body. You rewired with words, seized courage in 90 seconds, faced the mirror at dusk. You honored sleep as architect, reclaimed desire, spoke unapologetically, lived proof in the physical. You burned bridges kindly, declared irreversibility, and now your very presence radiates new gravity. Every step has been a death and a birth. Every hour has been sacred. And now the air feels different. Your body feels different. Your gaze feels different. You are not waiting for transformation. You are living it. This is the secret the ancients knew. Change does not take years. It takes decision. It takes one sacred day where you refuse to return, where you act as though your old life is gone because it is. That day was yesterday. Today is proof. Day 25 is not the end of the countdown. It is the beginning of your mastery. The practices that carried you here must not be abandoned. They must be integrated until they are no longer practices, but your natural way of being. Breath as anchor, words as programming, boundaries as blessings, proof as evidence, silence as power, desire as holy. These are not rituals you try. They are who you are now. The world will notice. Some will see only the surface, the confidence, the clarity, the results. They will call you lucky, gifted, chosen. They will not see the fire, the ashes, the severance, the oaths. They will not know that your transformation was built in 24 hours of irrevocable choice. But you will know, and knowing is enough. On day 25, you do not ask, "Am I ready?" You declare, "I am." You do not ask, "What if I fail?" You declare, "I am immune." You do not ask, "Who will give me permission?" You declare, "My desire is permission." You do not ask, "What if I go back?" You declare, "There is no back." This is your graduation into sovereignty. This is your initiation into mastery. The sand glass no longer dictates your transformation. You do. Time bends to your vow. Reality bends to your alignment. Life bends to your gravity. And as you step into day 25, you realize the truth. There was never a countdown. There was only a choice. You chose. You crossed. You became. And there is no going back. Chapter 31. The Horizon That Waits. When you reach the place where the old life has expired, it is tempting to think you have arrived. You feel lighter, stronger, clearer. You look around and the air shimmers with possibility. Yet beyond this moment lies something even greater, the horizon that waits. It stretches in front of you like an endless expanse, not demanding, not rushing, but inviting. The horizon is the future calling you, not as an echo of obligation, but as a song of destiny. The old life could not perceive horizons. It was too consumed with survival, too entangled with repetition. It looked at the next day and called it the same. It looked at the next year and called it predictable. The horizon was there, but it was invisible to eyes dulled by fear. Now your eyes are different. They can see what was always waiting, possibility unmeasured, a life unshaped, a canvas untouched. To walk toward the horizon is to embody trust. You do not know every step. You cannot predict every turn, but you no longer need to. The horizon is not a demand for control. It is an invitation to movement. It asks only one question: will you keep walking? The horizon also teaches patience. It will always appear distant, no matter how far you walk. This is not a trick, it is a gift. It reminds you that arrival is an illusion. Life is not about reaching a final destination, but about becoming as you move. Every step you take toward the horizon reveals more of yourself, more of your potential, more of your truth. Honor the horizon by setting your gaze each morning. When you wake, ask, what step brings me closer today? Do not measure the distance. Do not demand to arrive. Simply step. Step into honesty, step into creation, step into love. These steps accumulate until you look back and realize you have walked further than you ever believed possible. The horizon also humbles you. It whispers that there will always be more. More to learn, more to unlearn, more to become. This humility is sacred. It keeps you curious, keeps you alive. The moment you believe you have reached the end, you stagnate. The horizon prevents stagnation. It stretches endlessly so that you may grow endlessly. At times the horizon will blur. Storms will rise, fog will settle, doubts will cloud your vision. In those moments, remember, the horizon has not disappeared. It is only hidden. Keep stepping, keep breathing, keep aligning. The fog will lift, the storm will pass, and the horizon will reveal itself again, waiting as patiently as ever. Others may fear your journey. They may cling to their small circles, content to walk only where the ground is familiar. They will ask, why chase something so far? Why risk the unknown? You will smile because you know the truth. The horizon is not a chase. It is a becoming. It is the only way to honor the gift of life. The horizon that waits is not just a metaphor. It is your compass. It reminds you daily that you are not finished. You are not complete. You are not stagnant. You are infinite becoming. And as long as you have breath, you have steps left to take. So walk with faith, with fire, with freedom. The horizon will wait for you, always. And in the walking, you will discover not only new landscapes, but new layers of yourself. This is the journey without end, the path without finality, the truth without ceiling. The horizon is not just ahead, it is you. Chapter 32. The Legacy of Fire. Every transformation leaves traces. When you burn the bridges of your old life, the flames illuminate more than your own path. They cast light for others who are still lost in their shadows. This is the legacy of fire, the way your courage ignites courage in those who witness it. You do not transform for yourself alone. You transform for everyone touched by your flame. The old life-believed legacy was built on monuments, titles, or wealth. It chased recognition, hoping to be remembered by scale of achievement. But true legacy is not what you leave behind. It is the fire you ignite in others. It is the courage they find when they watch you refuse to shrink. It is the strength they discover when they see you rise. Fire is contagious. When you speak truth unapologetically, someone listening breathes deeper. When you live your vow visibly, someone nearby dares to choose alignment. When you burn away fear publicly, someone watching begins to question their own chains. You may never know their names, may never hear their gratitude, but your fire will ripple through their lives like unseen sparks. Legacy is not in the spotlight. It is in the quiet. It is the child who overhears you speak kindness instead of cruelty. It is the friend who remembers the way you chose truth, even when it costs you. It is the stranger who notices how you carry yourself with steady dignity. These moments seem small, but they are embers, and embers spread. The legacy of fire also burns inward. You carry your own flame into every future version of yourself. The choices you make today will echo in the years to come. When your future self looks back, it will thank you for daring, for acting, for burning away what no longer served. That gratitude is part of your legacy too, an inheritance you give yourself. But fire is dangerous when misused. If you burn with rage, you leave ashes. If you burn with cruelty, you scar. Legacy requires intentional fire, the kind that warms, illuminates, liberates. That is why burning bridges kindly was essential. You are not here to scorch the world. You are here to light it. Do not underestimate your impact. You may believe your fire is small, but even a candle can guide someone through the dark. And when many candles burn, darkness is undone. Your legacy may be grand or quiet. It does not matter. What matters is that you burn true. As the countdown ends and your new life begins, remember, the fire is not only for you. It is for the world that needs more light, more courage, more truth. Your flame is now part of a lineage of fire, those who dared, those who rose, those who refused to shrink. You are not alone. You are one flame among many, and together the legacy of fire will remake the world. Bam. Chapter 33, The Crown of Becoming. There is no coronation ceremony waiting at the end of transformation, no audience applauding, no crown lowered onto your head. And yet there is a crown, the crown of becoming. It is not given by others. It is claimed by you in silence, in solitude, in the sacred recognition that you have walked through fire and emerged sovereign. The crown of becoming is invisible to the eyes of the world, but it is unmistakable to the soul. You feel it in the weight on your shoulders, not heavy but grounding. You feel it in the steadiness of your gaze, no longer darting for approval. You feel it in the calm of your breath, no longer racing with fear. The crown is not jewelry, it is presence. It is the undeniable authority of someone who knows who they are. Claiming the crown requires humility. You do not wear it with arrogance. You do not parade it for validation. You wear it quietly, knowing it is not about superiority but sovereignty. It does not separate you from others. It empowers you to serve them more fully. The crown of becoming is not for domination, but for creation. It is not about ruling over others, but ruling over yourself. When you wear this crown, life shifts, choices feel clearer, doubts lose their sting, fear still whispers, but it no longer commands. You are not immune to struggle, you are simply anchored. The crown reminds you daily that you have already crossed the threshold, already declared your vow, already built proof in the physical. You no longer need to prove, you only need to live. Others will sense it. They may not see the crown, but they will feel its gravity. They will listen more closely when you speak. They will follow more willingly when you lead. They will trust more deeply when you love. The crown does not demand attention, it attracts it. Not through force, but through presence. But beware, the crown can be lost if you forget. If you slip back into apology, into hesitation, into fear, it slides from your head. This is not punishment, it is reminder. The crown is not permanent unless you live as the self who claimed it. It must be renewed daily through alignment, through truth, through courage. Every morning you rise and place it upon your head again, not with ceremony, but with breath. The crown of becoming is not an ending. It is a beginning. It signifies that you are no longer a seeker, but a creator, no longer a prisoner, but a sovereign. It is the final gift of the countdown, the recognition that your old life is gone, your new life is here, and you are the ruler of it. Wear it with dignity, wear it with grace, wear it with unwavering truth. For the crown of becoming is not decoration, it is destiny. And once you claim it, you will never again bow to fear, to shame, to smallness. You will walk forward crowned, not by the approval of others, but by the eternal truth that you have become. Chapter 34. The Unbroken Circle. Every journey feels linear while you are walking it. You begin at a point, you travel forward, you measure progress in steps and hours and milestones. But when you pause and look back, you see the truth. The path is not a straight line, it is a circle. You are not ending where you began, but you are returning to the essence you carried from the very start. This is the unbroken circle, and it is the final revelation of your transformation. The old life told you that growth was escape. It whispered that you needed to become someone else, that you had to abandon your roots, that who you were was not enough. So you spent years reaching outward, chasing identities, chasing approval, chasing futures that never felt like home. You mistook distance for destiny, but the new life teaches differently. It shows you that transformation is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to who you truly are. The circle was always waiting. The circle is unbroken because truth cannot be destroyed. Even in your darkest days, even when you wore names that weren't yours, even when you betrayed your own essence, truth remained. It waited quietly beneath the layers, pulsing softly, calling you back. Every failure, every detour, every stumble was part of the arc leading you here. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was outside the circle. To see the circle clearly is to release regret. You stop asking, "Why did I waste so much time?" You realize time was never wasted. Every season served, every pain purified, every collapse carried you closer to the return. The circle is forgiving. It teaches that even when you thought you were lost, you were still on the path. You could not leave it. You could only learn it. Standing in the unbroken circle also dissolves fear. You no longer worry about falling off the path because there is nowhere else to go. The circle will hold you, guide you, correct you. When you drift, it will curve you back. When you stumble, it will lift you up. The circle is your covenant with life itself. No matter what happens, you belong. Practice honoring the circle each day. Begin by acknowledging your roots, the child you once were, the essence that sparkled before the world told you who to be. Close your eyes and picture that child. See their laughter, their curiosity, their innocence. Then whisper, "I have returned. I never abandoned you. We are one again." This is not sentiment, it is reclamation. You are completing the arc, returning to essence, sealing the circle. Then acknowledge your present, the self who has walked through fire, spoken oaths, burned bridges, claimed sovereignty. See your strength, your clarity, your presence. Whisper, "I honor who I am now. I carry both the child and the master within me. I am whole." This affirmation completes the circle from past to present. Finally, acknowledge your future, not as a distant horizon, but as another loop of the circle, waiting to be walked. Whisper, "I trust the circle to carry me forward. I will not fear detours. I will not resist curves. I am guided. I am held. In this trust, fear dissolves. The circle carries you endlessly forward, endlessly inward. Others may not see the circle. They will still think in straight lines, measuring progress by distance, ranking themselves against others. Do not follow them. You know the truth now. You know that everything belongs, that nothing is wasted, that the return is the real destination. The unbroken circle is not an end. It is a rhythm. It is the eternal dance of becoming and returning, of expansion and remembrance. To live in the circle is to live free, free from regret, free from fear, free from the illusion of separation. So step into the circle. Stand in it with gratitude. Whisper your vow once more, not as a desperate declaration, but as a calm knowing. You are here. You have always been here. You will always be here. The circle is unbroken, and so are you. Chapter 35. The Dawn After Midnight. Every midnight feels endless while you are inside it. The darkness presses in, silence grows heavy, doubt creeps close. You wonder if dawn will ever come, if light has abandoned you, if the night will swallow you whole. Your old life was an endless midnight, a cycle of fear and fatigue that convinced you the sun was gone. But the countdown has carried you through, and now you stand in the sacred threshold, the dawn after midnight. This dawn is not ordinary. It is not just the rising of the sun in the sky. It is the rising of the sun in you. It is the light that floods when you realize the night could never last forever. It is the glow that radiates when you remember that dawn always comes, not sometimes, not maybe, but always. The dawn after midnight is the final proof that transformation is not temporary, it is eternal. Notice how dawn feels in your body. After the heaviness of night, the first light is almost overwhelming. Your chest feels wider, your breath deeper, your eyes sharper. This is your nervous system remembering safety, remembering possibility. This is your spirit celebrating survival. You have walked through darkness and emerged luminous. The dawn is not just around you, it is within you. The dawn after midnight also redefines your relationship with struggle. You stop cursing the night. You begin to honor it. You see that midnight was not punishment, but preparation. It stripped you of illusion, tested your endurance, sharpened your vision. Without midnight, dawn would not be as radiant. Without shadow, light would not be as sacred. You no longer fear the dark because you know it serves the light. Practice welcoming dawn each day as a ritual. When you wake, do not rush. Sit with the light as it enters. Whisper gratitude. I am alive. I am new. I have risen with the sun. Let this moment seal into your subconscious as proof of renewal. Each sunrise becomes an anchor, reminding you that no matter how deep the night, light always follows. The dawn after midnight also teaches compassion. You look at others still trapped in their nights, and instead of judging, you understand. You remember how it felt, the weight, the despair, and you become a bearer of light for them, not by forcing, not by preaching, but by shining steadily. You become living proof that dawn is real, that it comes, that it is worth enduring for. This dawn also marks the beginning of your mastery. The countdown carried you through the death of your old life. But dawn invites you into the creation of your new one. The hours ahead are not survival, they are design. You no longer scramble to escape darkness. You build in the light. You write, create, love, lead from a place of illumination. This is the gift of dawn, the power to create without fear. But do not forget, dawn is cyclical. Night will come again, challenges will rise, doubts will whisper, shadows will fall. This is not failure, this is rhythm. Each midnight you face in the future will carry within it the promise of another dawn. You will no longer collapse in fear when darkness arrives. You will smile, knowing light is already on its way. So here you stand, crowned by the dawn after midnight. Look around. The world is washed in gold. The air hums with promise. The path ahead glows brighter than it ever has. And within you, a quiet knowing whispers, I will never again doubt the rising of my own sun. The dawn has come, the old life is gone, the new has begun. And in this light you will walk forward, unbroken, unstoppable, radiant.